Okay, so just before we get on to Stefan's cuboid, just want to remind you of what we did with Amina's. So to calculate Amina's cuboid, we did 4 times 6, which gave us the front face, and then we multiplied by 3 to give us the whole cuboid. So again, so the formula for the volume of a cuboid, so working out any cuboid, is the height times the length times the width, or sometimes we call it the depth. So 4 times 6 times 3 would get you the 72, and that will be the case for any cuboid you like. And of course, when you're timesing, you can do it in any order. So let's have a little look in terms of Stefan's cuboid. Okay, so we know that for each of the edges, so that the length it is 5 centimetres bigger than Amina's, for the height is 5 centimetres bigger than Amina's, and the depth or the width is 5 centimetres bigger than Amina's. So I've done the calculations for each of those. So I reckon that Stefan's bigger cuboid has a length of 11 centimetres, it has a height of 9 centimetres, and it has a depth or a width of 8 centimetres. So to work out the volume, or to work out the total number of cubes, I am going to need to multiply those together. So 9 times 11 times 8. And I can do that in whatever order I like. So hopefully you might have had a go at this, and I'm just going to tell you which way I have chosen to do it. I'm going to do it in my head, but I'm going to try and explain what I'm doing. I am going to have a look at 9 times 11 to start with. I'm pretty good at my 11 times table. I know that's going to be 99. So instead of 9 times 11, I'm going to have 99. 99 times 8. Now, I could do that with a short multiplication in columns, 99 times 8, and work it out from that. In fact, I might do that in a minute to check my workings. But I reckon I can be smarter than that. 99 is very close to 100, and 100 times 8 is really easy. 100 times 8 is 800, but I've got 99 eights. So if 100 eights are 800, I've got one lot of 8 less than that. So 800 take away 8 is 992. So I think that's what the answer is. Sorry, not 992, 792. So I think that's what the answer is going to be. Let's just check with my things over here. So 9 eighths. Come on, what is 9 eighths? 9 eighths, 9 eighths, 9 eighths. 9 eighths is 72. 9 eighths is 72 again. Add on the 792. Brilliant. But I think my way is slightly better. And actually it's easier, because for this one you've got to know your 8 times tables, whereas this one it's a little bit more straightforward. So we've now got Stefan's cuboid, 792 cubes. What do we have to do next? And then how can we check we've got the right answer? Over to you. Okay, so we've worked out that Stefan's cuboid has 792 cubes in it. And this was what we were wanting to look at. What's the difference between the number of cubes in his cuboid, 792, and Amina's, which was 72. So 792 take away 72. I think that's one we can fairly easily do in our heads, but just in case you can't, let's do it as a column subtraction, making sure we line up our columns. Big number on the top, 2 take away 2 is 0, 9 take away 7 is 2, 7 take away nothing is 720. So our final answer, which we would put in the box here, we would ignore that one as it was going to be, we would put 720 cubes. I'm going to write that in a box over here so that we've got the answer, 720 cubes. And that's really important when you're doing these sorts of assessments. It's all very well having all the information there. If you don't actually write the answer clearly there, it's quite easy for somebody who's marking it to think, what are they going on about? I can't see where's the answer? You need to make it sure it's absolutely crystal clear that the answer goes there. But while we are talking about that, this is a 2-mark question. And obviously, if you get 720, you get 2 marks straight away. If you've got the workings, so for example, maybe you made a silly mistake, like I did with Stefan's one. I said 992 a minute ago, didn't I? And if I'd put 992 there by mistake, but I'd got all the rest of it right, so 72 there, and I'd put 992 there, I'd have got a mark, because the marker could have seen my workings. And similarly, if you've made a silly mistake with your taking away, if you've got the 792 and the 72, you'd get a mark. So it's worth having a go. It's worth thinking, what do I know? And even if you don't know what the volume of a cuboid is, as we saw earlier, you can do it just by starting from the counting if you need to, or even better by doing, oh yeah, I can see that front face is 4 times 6, that's 24. Then there's 3 layers of it. There's almost always a way that you can do it by working out what you do know. Okay. In terms of checking this answer, it's a little bit more tricky than sometimes. I could certainly check that I've got this subtraction correct by doing the inverse. So I could say 720 add 72 is 792. That would work nicely. But otherwise, it is, in this particular instance, I think just a matter of going through, if you've got time, to go through again each of the steps very carefully and make sure you haven't made any silly mistakes. And I did make some silly mistakes when I was going through here, which you may or may not have spotted. So, for example, if you can see where I've tried to draw Stefan's cuboid here, I got it right with the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This I've done the calculation right here, but I can't count in terms of cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops! But lucky I did spot it and I've put my 9 in there correctly. So if you've got a different answer, maybe yours is right and mine is wrong. But if you think that is the case, then you need to prove it to me or to Mrs. Pegler. Okie dokie.